Now time for question period. The member from Lambton-Kent-Middlesex.
Well, thank you very much, Speaker. And my question this morning is to the Premier. Premier, on November 18th in this House,
Minister of Agriculture,
you affirmed that your government had established a process to consult with parents on proposed changes to the liberal sex education curriculum. But, Premier, over the past 3 months, I've heard from thousands of parents from across Ontario who have told me that no such consultation took place. And, Premier, that the period for consultation is now over. Premier, why did you suggest to this House that you expected the chairs of each school council to consult with parents on the sex ed curriculum when this was, by the order of your Minister of Education, never going to happen?
Thank you. Premier.
Well, Mr. Speaker, let me just be clear. We were, and the Minister of Education was very clear that all of the schools in the province, all 5,000 schools, the school council chairs were being asked to take part in a consultation. That means that every region of the province, Mr. Speaker, every school council chair had access to the consultation process, Mr. Speaker, and that is exactly what happened. And we have completed that process, Mr. Speaker. The fact is that the health and physical education curriculum is out of date. In fact, it's dangerously out of date, Mr. Speaker. Children in our society need the information that is contained in an up-to-date health and physical education curriculum, Mr. Speaker. The fact is they are going to get information somewhere, Mr. Speaker. We want to make sure they get the right information and that they get information that is based on evidence, Mr. Speaker.
Be seated, please. Be seated, please. Order. Supplementary.
Well, Speaker, back to the Premier. Premier, you clearly stated, and I quote, that the role of a school council chair is to talk to the people in his or her school and to get that input and then feed that input into a process. Yet, Premier, the survey itself says, and I quote, to support the quality and integrity of the data collected from parent representatives, we strongly encourage parent representatives to complete the survey independently. That is, Premier, without consulting parents. Premier, when you stood here and said you expected school council chairs to conduct consultations the Liberal Party promised back in 2010, were you aware that your Minister of Education was working against a proper consultative process?
Question. Thank you. Premier.
Well, Mr. Speaker, let me just say that I think 5,000 parents who are informed parents who are connected to their school communities, and I don't know if the member opposite has ever been a school council chair. I have, Mr. Speaker, and I know that when you're a school council chair, you're in touch with your community. You hear from your community. You know what your community is about, and you have conversations with your community. So, 5,000 parents from around this province, from every region of this province, Mr. Speaker, every school had access to this process. But I guess that, for me, the real issue is that this health and physical education curriculum that is in place in Ontario right now dates back to 1998, Mr. Speaker. We need to have this curriculum updated. We engaged in a consultation. We're behind jurisdictions like British Columbia, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, Mr. Speaker, and the update has to happen.
Thank you. The member from Chatham-Kent-Essex will come to order. Final supplementary.
Well, back to the Premier, Speaker. Premier, I can only conclude that when you stood up in this House and defended this so-called process, that you simply had no idea what the actual process was that your Minister of Education had established. Perhaps, Premier, much in the same way that Dalton McGuinty had no idea about the new sex ed agenda his Minister of Education and her officials had planned back in 2010. Enough of the secrecy, Premier. Enough of defending a process that doesn't even exist. When are you going to start respecting the role of all parents in the education of their children? Premier, when do you plan on releasing the proposed new curriculum to all Ontario parents so that the real consultation process can begin?
Thanks very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, the curriculum will be posted on the Ministry of Education website for all to see. Within weeks, later this winter, it will be posted, Mr. Speaker, and it will be rolled out in classrooms in September 2015, Mr. Speaker. The fact is that the curriculum that we have in place in Ontario is out of date. We need to have it updated, Mr. Speaker. I'm not sure what the real agenda of the member opposite is. I'm not sure if the fear-mongering has more to do with his leadership campaign, Mr. Speaker, or whether it has to do with a very small group of people, Mr. Speaker, who want to stir up fear about the reality that kids need information. They need to understand how human beings relate to each other, Mr. Speaker, and they need to get that information based on science. That's what the curriculum will do, Mr. Speaker, and it will be available very shortly on the website.